So this is site location 2 for me. I've just spent 2 hours searching vast acreage for somewhere to put up a hammock tarp. So I brought with me the DD tarp. Now I have got the Sargasso 10th Wonder Jungle tarp. It does a great job in a storm. Really long, but it doesn't come down enough. I need more wind protection than rain protection, but any 3x3 tarp offers you a lot more versatility. Now I've also got a little invention in here which I want to try out, and it's a cross between the Bex method and Trossachs on a ridgeline. The main difference with this little invention is it's an internal ridgeline that I can make slack in the middle to hang things on, and yet I can still have full tension either end. A couple of hammock straps, a couple of beaners. These are quite a strong KN. I think they're at least 12 KN, very strong. And this. Okay, tree straps are up. Marlon spike hitch rather than stick. I prefer to use beaners, which works better with this little modification. And I like my knot as close to the tree as I can get. I'm going to undo this modified line, hope it's not tangled. I have 2 Trossachs, one on each end, that goes to the end of the basher, and on this end, this is a quick release slip loop, and it's identical on the other end. So I'm going to use the slip loop to go into the actual beaner itself. Now this particular modification, the ridgeline comes under the basher. There's no problem putting it on the outside if that's the way you want to do it. I prefer mine because I hang things on, a little torch, things like that. So hook on the quick release slip loop, which has gone into there, comes all the way back down here until I get to this beaner. Now to gain the tension, I use the slip knot itself. Now I'm not going to walk a tightrope. It has some play on it, and there's a reason for that. Most of the stuff I've got is green so far. Not had coyote brown other than my hammock underquilt for the summer. That might be a nice addition to this. Just discard this for a minute and we'll put it up. And I want to have a quick chat with you as well about the guy out pegs and cordage if you get them from DD, and that just clicks straight onto the end beaner. So here's the ridgeline, and just look at the play I have off the top of the ridge here. It's not pegged out yet, but I have all this play, and yet it holds the tarp up. So it's come down to the ground, which is what I want, and I want to peg it out like that and then see if I can suspend my hammock into it with it fully on the ground. So I've got 100% wind protection. Now I'm going to use my own lightweight groundhogs. It's all pegged out, probably with more option to peg out also here. But for me, I have an adjustable internal ridgeline which I can lower. The actual whoopee of the hammock comes up to the same beaner, and that's in there. I'm just going to try and get in. Now I'm going to need separate beaners, I just found out, for this modification. It's a shame, it's a shame. I wish they could all come to this same anchor point here. What I was looking for in the tarp for my hammock is full wind protection. It's come all the way to the floor. I have an adjustable sag ridge line here and I'm in my hammock. Now, a 3x3 Hootchie like this is going to be great in my pack. Another little thing I love doing, especially in the summer, is playing with different configurations for the 3x3 tarp. Tarpology, that's what it's called. So I don't really need a tent so much. If I lowered the tarp, I could anchor it straight into the ground. It's on the ropes at the moment, on the guy lines. I'm just going to grab my pack a minute and have a chat with you. When I purchased the hammock, you get an option whether you want pegs and guy ropes. I clicked no to both, and I'll show you why. But these pegs are absolute garbage. There you go. Look how easy that was to bend, and that's all it's good for, really. Why the hell would I want these in my pack? Garbage, absolute garbage. I'm going to take them home and dispose of them. This is the cordage they give you. Now, you cannot gain tension if you're using this nylon cordage. Nylon is known to be incredibly slippy, and I've just put this in an overhand, not all of them together, and if I squeeze these together, I don't know if you can see that, look at how loose that is coming, and they've got the cheek to charge you extra for them. So even this garbage doesn't come free with the tarp. So I've taken the guy lines off my sargasso. Now, I've had that for about 5 years, so it is time for an upgrade with the DD tarp, which I haven't got a problem with. Everyone knows DD is good quality. I had the 4.5 metre by 3, the big Hootchie they were calling that. Far too big, far too big. I used it about maybe 2 or 3 times in 5 years. I just didn't get any value from it. It's too big. 3x3, what does it offer me? A good head height here, and yet comes right down to the deck. I can use it in several different configurations, which we'll have a look at in, I think it's spring that's coming up, where I can adapt this into my favourite teepee and tarp and pyramid configurations. Instead of a tent, 3000 mil of hydrostatic head. It should be enough for a winter downpour. There's no reason it shouldn't be. I would have liked to have seen a little more, maybe 5,000, but I got this for 30 quid, just under 30 quid on Cyber Black Monday. Now, I knew the sale would be on before a certain date. I just had to look out for it. I do like the coyote brown. I've had the green. I like the brown. It's not too bad. It does need a separate repitch. It's a shame. I don't think I've got enough to go around the tree just yet. The biggest thing I wanted was a tarp I can peg right to the ground and yet still have a hammock in. So I can pitch the tarp up first and it comes all the way to the ground, knowing that I have wind protection. Then I can put the hammock up. I would, however, probably go back to lashing it round the tree. It's not my all-time favourite method, but until I think of something else. Attachment points 19, includes 4 guys, ropes and pegs. Well, it doesn't, they're extra. Makes a nice difference to me, this. So before I pack everything up, the primary reasoning behind the purchase was its shape. 3x3 offers a better hang in a hammock if you're trying to get an asymmetrical sleep. It works a lot better than a rectangle. Also, 3x3 or any square of equal sides, when it comes to topology, this is ideal. And I did one in my backyard a couple of years ago with my DPM basher, which I think is coming up now. There it is. And as you can see, just an ordinary rectangle like that and 2 walking trekking poles. I've made this into a really feasible shaped kind of tent that we just saw was open-ended, so that'd be for your spring and summer. Right, head down, someone's coming. Shh. I was just about to wrap that video up there, but I'm going to crack open a cup of tea because I've just had the solution to that little modification with this little invention here. Right then, won't keep you a second. It's absolutely parched. And you'll see this new pot in a separate episode. But wool gloves, because it's a cold day. Got me gloves. Now these are them thin chelate, they're not wool. They should be good enough to grab a hot pot though. I've got 2 trees above me and they're rubbing together and they make a quite distinctive sound. And I was out on a very, very windy, cold night last year, year before, can't remember, and that noise absolutely scared the hell out of me. I thought the trees were coming down. I don't mind the cold, I don't mind the snow, get them high winds up, and these are widow makers. Just gonna get one of my tree straps before I forget. I've got one side, I am forever doing this. Yeah, so back to the solution to the problem. The problem was I connected the end of the basher to this, enabling me to have a sagging ridgeline and yet maintain tension. But when I got in, because it was on the same beaner, it made slack, and I need slack for the hammock obviously, but it also made slack where I didn't want it, and that was on the tension of the tarp. So here's my solution. Quick slurp, not bad. End of tarp webbing came to here, and I had this adjustable loop onto the end of the beaner. Here's my idea. I'm going to replace the loop with either 4 or 6 mil shock cord. I can tie it into this, still make an adjustable loop, which is quick release, and when I sink the hammock, it'll pull tension rather than slacken with the shock cord. I can at the moment only think of that. I'm trying to think if that would work. I don't see why it shouldn't. So backspace, 4 mil cord. Okay, that has been the rationale and logic behind why I've gone with the 3x3 tarp. It's a lot easy for topology, and it comes all the way down to the ground and yet still houses a low slung hammock. Nylon for guy outs is a chronic idea. Slips. And them tinfoil pegs are laughable, absolute laughable. And I can't believe DD have got the cheek to try and charge you for extra for them. And that is on top of the price of the Hootchie as well. So coyote brown for me this time. In this kind of environment where there's not so much greenery about this time of the year, the brown in autumn, fall, just blends in so much better. And that's it for me. I've achieved what I wanted. I've shown you the little modification ridgeline. Now, I took a hike earlier today and walked 2 hours and didn't find 2 trees close enough together for the hammock anyway. But I'm going to leave you with some short extracts from this morning's walk. But for now, I've been Bex from channel bexbugoutsurvivor. The 3x3 DD Hootchie on a brew. Take care, see you soon. Wow, that was some climb. That was near vertical. Had to take a couple of knees just getting up that. I don't know whether to set up here or just carry on a little further. What a thing to find at the top of a hill. A shooting hide. This must have been where all the noise was coming from the gunshots when I was camping way over in the distance over there. It must be from here, so if I'm going to come here again, it won't be exactly here, not if there's a gunshot going off. Can't believe it, we're at the top of a very steep hill and there's 2 bullocks. I'm not going any closer, they do charge. This is as close as I'm coming up here. There's 2 bullocks. There's one there, he hasn't seen me. There's one there, centre screen now. And a brown one, centre screen there somewhere. And I'm about a good 2.5 miles from the road. And I'm closer to the ridge. But I certainly don't want to spook them. I don't think they're seeing me. So I'm going to move further down. Okay, got 2 trees, about a doable distance apart. All the trees are very wide apart. This is hanging in the way, that could be sawn down. This one here. You come down to the ground. There's this stump right there. And that, if I landed on that off my hammock, that's a backbreaker right there. I bought a brew kit as well. I just want to investigate something over here before I start. I'm still looking for a smaller spanner tree while I investigate this. Tarp that I've just found. So it just goes to show, even in a forestry this big, or woodland this big, you're still going to be able to find things such as a tarp and at least create a rudimentary shelter. Now what I'm doing is keeping my eyes down while I'm walking so I'm not tripping. If I need to look around, I stop. I can survey the terrain, look down, carry on. I don't believe how little I am finding in the way of good trees. They've all got to be around 20 to 30 foot apart from each other. No good for a hammock or a tarp kind of setup. There's got to be hundreds of acres here.